The New York Knicks are going to have to make some major lineup decisions as Fred Katz has revealed that the team is going to be making some changes to the rotation this season surrounding Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo, and Josh Hart, along with giving an update on Tyler Kolek and Tom Thibodeau's plan for the entire new-look Knicks rotation, and we have to break it all down. So what's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into the video because Tom Thibodeau and the New York Knicks will be making major changes to the rotation involving players like rookie Tyler Kolek, having new roles for Josh Hart and Dante DiVincenzo, and a very different look for a guy like Julius Randle. But guys, there's more to the story than that. But before we get into that, are you trying to kick a bad habit to the curb? Because if so, then you have to check out Fum. Have you heard that the flavored air category is quickly becoming the leading alternative to vaping and smoking? It's a whole new movement towards better habits, led by the sponsor of today's video, Fum. Fum has a lot of delicious flavors to choose from crisp mint to cinnamon hearts. They have a flavor just for you. And with flavored air, you can satisfy your oral fixation through a passive diffusion system that utilizes no electronics, no vapor, and no combustion. Fum has served over 300,000 customers, and you can be their next success story. So guys, for a limited time only, use our code DIGEST to get a free topper. It's the perfect accessory to your Fum device. Slip it onto the mouthpiece for a softer, warmer feel. It's chewable for those who love to fidget, and it's also reusable. So guys, head to tryfum.com. That is tryfum.com and use code DIGEST or scan this QR code right here to get your free Fum topper when you order your journey pack today. So once again, that is tryfum.com. Use code DIGEST, free topper. It's a can't miss situation. But let's get into the video. When the New York Knicks acquired Mikal Bridges via trade and also re-signed OG Anunoby, it was pretty much accepted that they would be losing Isaiah Hartenstein in order to do so, and though they did bring back Precious Achiuwa and Jericho Sims is working hard in the offseason, there is going to be a different look to these Knicks teams with an abundance of wings and forwards and a shortage on big men. And Fred Katz was asked about that and kind of broke it down and mentioned that it's going to be difficult to find minutes for every player, including Dante DiVincenzo and Josh Hart when it comes to the wings. He said it's arguably the NBA's best 1-2 punch off the bench, and without playing Randle at center for a meaningful stretch of each game, and if Robinson were to go for, say, 28 minutes and Achiuwa playing the other 20 at center, Hart and DiVincenzo would be losing out on minutes, only being able to split 42 minutes between them. And that would be kind of a low amount, as Katz mentions, especially for two players who couldn't come off the court for a team that almost made the conference finals. There was a game away that included Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson getting injured in that series, and DiVincenzo being one of the few players. So it would be strange to see that happen. So that's what makes the big man spot pretty weird. And Fred Katz mentioned a lot that he does expect the New York Knicks to play Julius Randle at center throughout this season for at least some of his minutes. I did a video kind of recently discussing this, and I mentioned Julius Randle in his New York Knicks career has never played over 10% of his minutes at the center position. I expect that to change this year. With Precious Achiuwa, who held his own and did a great job guarding Joel Embiid, and with Jericho getting better, it's not like they're completely done for at the center position outside of Mitchell Robinson. But with what the Knicks want to do, with them wanting to play their best possible players, you're going to have to run some small ball with Julius at the 5, and I'm here for it. I talked about this a lot in a different video, so I'm not going to do a deep dive, but essentially, I think it works. It creates more one-on-ones for Julius at the rim, and then you got 4 great shooters out there like Brunson, DiVincenzo, OG, and Mikal Bridges, which makes the team very good offensively. And when you have guys like Mikal and OG still on the court, it won't kill your defense either. OG could guard whoever the best big man is on offense, whether it's a center, whether it's a power forward. Julius can guard the other one, and then Mikal can guard the best wing or guard. DiVincenzo, also a very solid defender himself, I might add. Also, Jalen Brunson, underrated as a defender. I know he's not some phenomenal defender, but everyone acts like he sucks at defense. No, the Knicks are just good, so he doesn't have to guard anyone. which is huge, especially when you consider the amount of offensive work he does. But the Knicks also have a lot of point guards. Outside of Jalen Brunson, who's going to get the bulk of the minutes, you have a guy like Deuce McBride, who the Knicks seem to like more as a shooting guard than anything else. They brought in Cameron Payne for some more depth. He'll probably be a third string. And then they also have Tyler Kolek. And Katz was asked about Kolek and gave a fairly unsurprising but also kind of surprising update. Now, he mentioned that if Tyler Kolek cracks the rotation, it's because he ripped a spot away from someone else, and that would most likely be Deuce. Not because the Knicks don't want to give him a spot. The team just doesn't go into seasons planning to include rookies in the rotation, and Katz imagines that Kolek will sit at the end of the bench for most of the season, and that he will eventually receive a chance to play because Tom Thibodeau was a massive fan of him and was pushing for the Knicks to draft him. Look, we know the Knicks liked Tyler Kolek. We know they were going to draft him in the first round, but decided to draft Pacome Dadier instead because it meant they could pay Kolek a little less money. Now, every time I say that, I get reminded that Kolek got paid the most money, the most guaranteed money of any second-round rookie in NBA history. It is still less than what the Knicks would have had to pay him if Kolek was picked in the first round, which is why they did what they did, why they selected Pacome, someone who they knew they could kind of give less money to, something Pacome was willing to do as long as he could be on the NBA roster this season. And now Pacome is going to spend his whole season in the G League. McCullough and Huckporty on two-way contracts, they're going to spend their whole season in the G League. I think Kolek will bounce back and forth, but when you're behind Jalen Brunson, when you're also behind Deuce McBride, when you're arguably behind Cameron Payne, it does make things difficult. Now, there was a report back in July that Kolek is ahead of Payne, that he's kind of the backup point guard in a sense, because the Knicks do like Deuce as more of a shooting guard. But you're asking for the Knicks to run a 10-man rotation, and clearly what Katz is indicating here is that the Knicks don't plan on running a 10-man rotation, so a rookie point guard who struggles on the defensive end can get in the game, which, you know, is fair. Now, Katz has also talked about some other stuff in this, but when looking at the guys who we've already discussed, Donte DiVincenzo just had the best season of his NBA career. He shot 40% from three, broke the Knicks record for most threes made in the season. That was just recently broken by Evan Fournier, and now Donte has the record. Put up 15.5 points per game, which was 20 points per game in the playoffs, along with 4 rebounds and 3 assists. Got over 1 steal per game, one of the many Knicks to do that. And also a guy like Josh Hart, who put up 9.4 points, 8.3 rebounds, and 4.1 assists, along with basically a steal per game. He's also quite the role player. Josh Hart's arguably the best role player in basketball. I think if you ask most people, they might say Josh Hart. And I think that's a fair answer, especially because what he does in the playoffs. These numbers do not show his playoff production, which was much better. Now, the deal with Josh Hart is he could play really 3 positions. He can't play center, but he can play the 2, the 3, and the 4s. Those are not exactly... They're basically the same position nowadays. Let's just be honest. There's point guards, and then there's wings/forwards, and then there's the center, and that's it. That's how basketball is now, and that's fine. It actually makes Josh Hart's life easier and gets him more playing time, but they're not going to give Tyler Kolek minutes that they could take away from DiVincenzo and Josh Hart when those two are already going to be getting a lot less minutes than they previously did. And in a way, that's good. It means the Knicks are better. It means they now have the guy who was runner-up for Defensive Player of the Year just a few years ago, Mikal Bridges. They have OG Anunoby. They have Julius back. It's good that they have players that it's forcing DiVincenzo and Hart into less minutes because it means they have more good players. But at the same time, it's kind of curious to see what the Knicks are going to do here. The only answer to give the role players who definitely deserve minutes more time is to take away from Precious. And Precious made a pretty good case to be the full-time backup center and to not have Julius play center minutes. But I just think with the way things are going, with the fact that Tibbs likes OG Anunoby guarding big men because he thinks he's good at it, which, well, he is, I think we are going to see more Julius at center. We're going to see the Knicks run a few more unorthodox lineups, some stuff that's definitely not Tibbs-esque, because of the abundance of talented players they have, especially at the wing and forward position. But guys, I want to hear from you. What do y'all think about this? Let me know in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. I am going to go live today around 6:30 p.m. You guys want to tune in for that. You don't want to miss it. It's a very fun time. I'll probably be on until like 8 p.m., something like that. After an hour and a half, I'll be honest, sitting in this chair, it gets painful. I won't lie. It literally hurts my back. So tune in for that, guys. Have a great day. Go Knicks.